Hey, so I am your captain of the Motostoke Red Wings, and I'm gonna go through my prep from before the draft and like my overall draft plan and what my team overview is. I don't have all my like stuff that I had before because I had like a lot of like stuff in Showdown, but I'm not on my PC, so I don't really have that. So I'll probably forget some things. Anyway, starting off, I was basing my draft around getting Mega Lot, which I luckily did, 4th overall, but if I couldn't get Lop, I was going to get Heatran, and then Metacham, and then Blaziken. Like, if this was the top 3, my number 4. But obviously this was not, like, I was hoping for getting one of these top 3. Maybe, I wasn't sold on Blaziken, but I can't think of what else I may have gone for. I don't know. Maybe Melmetal I was considering, I think, at one point. I think at one point I was considering going Sun, but I didn't really want to. I didn't want to be that guy to go Hail and then Sun the next season. So yeah, I was pretty confident I was going to get at least one of these 3, hopefully one of these top 2. Anyway, I got Mega Lop, so that was great. So once I got Lop, I was hoping for Heatran second, but I didn't think I was going to get it, so I was hoping for Scizor. I actually almost got Scizor until it was picked this pick before me, which I was very sad about. But it wasn't a big deal because I was like, whatever. I'll get other steals. So then I was like, I want to get Steel Flying, right? And I wanted Skirm because I really like Skirm, and also I think it's reasonable. Like I like it for 800 points more than Core for 12. And I haven't really used Celesteela that much, so I wasn't that confident about it, but I would have taken it, like, if Corv and Scarm both went, but, like, I don't know, I like Scarm more, I like Spikes, I like that I get Spikes more. The Spikes is big, the Defog's big, it's better offensively, I find, because you can bulk up with Corv, but you can Iron Defense Body Slam, or Body Press, it goes kind of hard. So, the only thing that I might be sad about is not having U-turn with Corv, but overall I think the Whirlwind and the Iron Defense and all that is better with Scarm. So my plan was to get Scarm after someone drafts Corv, but literally just nobody wanted Corv because nobody wanted it for 1200 points, I guess. So I wasn't going to get a second. So I was like, who should I get for a second round pick? I ended up going with Latios, but I was considering all these guys at one point. But ultimately I went Latios because mostly speed tier, and I don't know, I thought it was better. I think it's better like offensively overall. Like Hydreigon's sick, but I didn't want a 98 speed tier, and Komodo is like the GOAT, right? Offensively, defensively, but I wanted this massive fucking 130 special attack, good speed, just Draco psychic stuff on it. Also, it switches good into skirmish weaknesses, which is like all of these guys do that. And just a lot of flexibility, because I could even go Dragon Dance if I want. It's not as good without Mega, but it's like I can still do it in some matchups. You know, I could have went Latias for 200 less points, maybe better value, but I wanted the offensiveness from Latios more than the utility that Latias has, and like the extra supporting that Latias has. I didn't really think it was that worth it compared to Latios' extra like damage and Dragon Dance better and all that. I think like the main difference is like Healing Wish. I don't know what else. I don't know, some Healing Wish stuff. I think they both get screens. I think they both get T-Wave. I'm not sure. There's some extra stuff here. Reflect type, but I'm never. If someone uses Reflect type and they go crazy with it, they're the goats. But I don't know if I'm that guy with Latios. So I went with Latios. So now that I had those two, right, I'm looking here and I'm like, you know, I'm going. And I'm basically considering that I already have Scarm at this point. So I'm like, I'm gonna need some ice stuff. I don't know. I went with Rotom for round 3. I don't really remember why. I know I wanted Rotom for some reason, and I had like some reasoning, but I just went for Rotom. I wanted wash over heat because I had a different fire type I wanted that was like high value, so I thought that was better. I like its defensive utility that it can bring. I like its supportive, because at this point I have like, if I'm already considering having Skarm or Corv, right, then I already have 2 defoggers now, right? And I'm not too worried about defog. I like that it can pivot. I don't know. Big fan of Rotom. Actually, the only other Rotom drafted is Fan, which I don't really understand. I think Rotom can help probably most teams. Especially with Boots now. It's so good. But for some reason I wanted Wash. I ended up getting it. And that's swag. And round 4, right? It's at this point that I'm realizing no one's picking Corv, right? It's just not happening. And I was basing so much around of my team around getting Skarm at this point that if I didn't get it, it would be kind of bad. So I just got it round 4. I probably could have waited because I don't know if no one's getting Corv, who's getting Skarm, right? It's just I don't know. But it was too important to me to get Skarm now and like make sure I can like secure Skarm. So yeah, another reason I really like Skarm is because I just think its design is sick. One of my favorite designs. Even though it's not like that offensive, you can see, maybe I'll bring out the SD, you know, the SD weak armor Skarm. I can see it. That's real. Get the Corv SD? No, probably not. I don't think so. Yeah, hell no. Skarm SDs, Corv does not. Goated, better mon. I get spikes, I get hazards. It's just so good. Right? And so now at this point, I go for Arcanine because I saw Arcanine for 400. And I was like, yo, this guy is legit crazy. Like, goated stats across the board. Intimidate. Flash Fire, justified, depending on maybe matchup. I'm feeling it. I can go defensive, I can go offensive. It gets teleport. I can pivot. Morning Sun recovery. And so I'm like, well, the other options, other fire types I saw down there is Entei is actually less points. So if I wanted a physical guy, I was going to go Entei if I didn't get it. And I was thinking about Incineroar for the same price. And they do like mostly the same thing, except Arcanine is better, like has actual recovery. But like Incineroar is probably better than offensively and defensively, but Arcanine can do like pivoting better. Well, it's better as like a, I don't know, Arcanine's better as like a, not wall, but like, you know what I mean? Like, they're about the same defensively. But Incineroar is better offensively. I get the U-turn and stuff. But the problem with Incineroar for my team is I didn't want more fairy weaknesses. Because at this point, my 2 best attackers, right? Beware, or not Beware, this is Mega Lob, obviously, for typing. But, these 2 were both getting conked by fairies. I didn't want to add, like, I wanted my fire type to resist. So I went for Arcanine, plus E-Speed's just so good. I thought Arcanine was better overall for my team. Yeah. So there's that. And now we go to round 6, and this is where at this point my picks start to become like these top 5 I all had my eye on like before the draft, right? But now we're at points where none of these guys were on my radar before the draft. Like this is where my plan stops being a plan and more of like a on the fly flexibility thing. So I'm looking and I'm like, I need a ground type. And I did not want to settle for a ground type. If you were settling for your electric community, I don't have high faith in your team, to be honest. And I was already spending, I had a tier 1, a tier 3, a tier 4, and a tier 5. So I was trying to get something like I did down lower. I didn't want to go like, I don't know who's a mon that I could have went for. Nidoking was already gone when I drafted. Mamoswine wasn't gone. I could have went for Mamo, I think. I was considering it, right? Yeah, I was considering like any number of these ground types at one point. But I didn't want to go up for 1,000 for Mamo. I wanted to be 800 or less. And I was still worried about my fairy weakness because I didn't have anything to hit fairies really. So I saw Nidoqueen sitting here. Honestly, I was feeling it. I was looking, the coverage is literally insane. There's no type that I think I don't have except like grass or something on this guy. I don't really know. The stats kind of mediocre, but then I just sheer force life orb and suddenly the special attack may as well be like 120 or some shit. It's like crazy. I love Croak, right? I could have went Croak. I didn't want the dark type. I wanted I wanted the poisons. I was considering dipping down, but I didn't really want Tommathan. I don't know. He's like, I like Tommathan. I don't know, just wasn't feeling it. I wanted something that could specially take fairy hits as well, because Skarm obviously is not great, especially. And then you have Arcanine, but Arcanine can't really hit back sometimes. And it's like, it can teleport pivot out, but it can't like hit back. And so, I don't know. I was considering Swampert for flip turn, but I don't know. I wanted something that could really do damage, and also like, do some tanking. Flygon's cool, but again, the fairy thing. So I thought that Nidoqueen was the best here. Problem with Nidoqueen, it's either like really offensive or it's like kind of tanky, but it struggles to do both, I think. Because without Life Orb, Sheer Force, it doesn't hit very hard, right? So it kind of like, there's some pretty clear weaknesses with Nidoqueen, and that movie isn't great. But I think the offense is like enough to outweigh it. And of course, this gives me another Stealth Rocker at this point, which now, like with my top 6, my only hazard is Skarm. And so then I add another one, which is great. Let's see what else we got here. The Moltres, round 7 for 400. I was surprised Moltres was down here. Not gonna lie. Like 400 for Moltres, I thought was sick, and I'm looking for darks at this point because I'm like, as much as I don't want to be weak to fairy, I still need dark, right? Because I had nothing for this dark and ghost weakness on Latios except for Lop, but I don't want Lop to be that answer. So Moltres that very well, and I'm just looking at like cheap dark type options, and the only like strong one, really strong one that I wanted was Moltres-g. Like, I don't know what else there is down here. It's definitely the best dark type below 400, without a doubt. Maybe even below 5. Like, I guess Crawdon is goated. I didn't want Honchkrow because I still wanted something that could like not be super frail. Obstagoon's probably pretty good. I don't know. I think Moltres-g it goes crazy. I did also want offensive flying because at this point my flying was Skarm, right? But I wanted something I could hit like good flying type. So that was another reason I got Moltres. Double Dance goes crazy. I brought AV in my first match, but that match, we don't talk about it. I was considering these two, I believe, at one point. But I used Dracula before, and I thought it was like okay without Pursuit, but now with Pursuit rather. But now that it doesn't have Pursuit at all, I'd rather not use it, to be honest. Like, it's good. I like it. It does a lot, surprisingly, but yeah, I've seen better, right? And Guzzlord just goes crazy. It's a funny mod, but I like I don't know, I like Moltres more. It can just sweep some teams completely. Goated Mon, you see it used a lot. It's so good. So then I got Haunter. So I think my thing with Haunter, right, is I was looking really deep, right? I was like, I'm gonna have to dip down and get a tier 9 or a tier 10 at some point. So who do I want? And I saw Haunter here, and I was like, that boy's fast. That boy's poison and ghost. And I'm looking at the other ghost types around it, and I'm like, I think there's Miss Magius, but I'd rather have Haunter than Miss Magius, to be honest. And I think there was Gorgeist. It was Gorgeist and Miss Magius I was looking at, and Frostlass. I used Frostlass last season, but I didn't really want to use it again, despite being a sick mon. But I think the poison type for Haunter, went crazy. I was a big fan. Obviously, if I use it, it's probably going to be Scarf most of the time. Sludge Wave, Shadow Ball, whatever coverage I want, Trick. Really, I thought it was very high value for 200 points, to be honest. I think most of my picks were high value for their points, except like, I don't know, some of them that were deserving, like maybe my top few. Definitely my top few were not really high value, but they're good value, right? So yeah, Haunter, pretty low. Like, obviously it's not going to be like rolling, because it's Haunter. It's not even Gengar. Gengar wasn't even taken at this point. But for 200 points, the only ghost I'd rather have is maybe Frostlass, Gorgeist. But I wanted Haunter for the poison. I think it was worth. What's next? Stakataka. I can't say anything. I don't know. I just looked at Stakataka and I said I wanted this mod. Anti-Trick Room, which is really great because I hate losing to Trick Room. can set it up itself, which means if someone gets a trick room against me, I can have this thing have trick room, and even if I don't want to use it, I can just reset the room. Just goated. I wanted another steal that wasn't turbo weak to special moves. I guess I don't really have this, but it's not bad. Like, it's better, right? It's okay. I can go spid F, I guess, probably, and be okay. But I just want to stack Attacker. There's no deep thought for this. I just wanted to stack Attacker, and so I picked up stack Attacker. There's no thinking. Sometimes you don't gotta think, bruh. Next was Volcanium, right? I was looking. I was like, I got some points. What am I gonna do with these points? Because I drafted pretty low for the last little bit, right? Like nothing was above tier 4, right? I only have 3 mons above tier 4, so everything's kind of low price. So I'm looking. I was considering getting a Serp at one point. I was also looking at fairy types now, and I was considering going all the way up for Azumarill in tier 4, I think, right? I was considering going all the way up to Azumarill to get my fairy there. I remember at one point I was considering Primarina in this draft around like the first, or around like the fourth mark, but Primarina went pretty early. But yeah, so I ended up looking, and I just saw Volcanion just sitting here in tier, like in like dog low, right? Like pickle chilling in tier 6, and I'm like, this mon goes brain dead. Why is it in tier 6? How do you switch in to Super Scald to Super Scald Fire move? How are you switching in? Flame Charge, yeah, for sure. You just legit can't switch into this. There's like I guess you can be a water type. Fine, you can be a water type and switch in. That's the only option. I don't know. This thing goes crazy. You get Sludge Wave, you get Defog. I was not worried about ground types at all because I had legit 5 floating dudes, and I'm just not worried about them. In the end, I get what? My ground weaknesses is 2. I have 4 Pokemon weak to ground and 5 Pokemon immune to it. And no resist. So I don't know. I went kind of crazy with that. But nah, I don't know. I had to pick Volcanion when I saw him for 600. He is so good. I'm a big fan of this mon. So then, because I picked a Volcanion, right, I was stuck needing a fairy. And there were not very many good fairies left, right? Because I couldn't go up to the Azumarill anymore. I didn't have the points. So my options were Gardevoir or Alcremie. And I did not want to use Alcremie. There's a Aromatisse here, I guess. I don't even know what that does. I know it's good in 1v1. Should have Freezeye, I guess, but like... Nah. Slurpuff was gone, I believe. Yeah, so I went Guard. I like using choice Pokemon in draft. It's very fun to like to like take their ability. I don't know. Find ways with that. But yeah, there's not much to say about Gardevoir. It's like okay speed. It can be scarfed, but that's about it. Right? It can be scarfed. It can be support. It's just a fairy type, and I think it's funny that I ended up drafting Gardevoir and Lop and Nidoqueen. Right? I'll kind of like suspect Mons perhaps, but that was not intentional, and I just needed a fairy type, and Gardevoir was the only one I liked left. And then we went for the last pick, right? And at this point I had 400 points, and I was not sure what I wanted to do with them. All my types were covered at this point, right? Like, I have like 2 resists at least of every type, I believe. Yeah. Like, I looked, and I was looking at my weakness things the whole time. And I was pretty happy with what I had. I have not a lot of weaknesses, for the most part, you know? Like, not a lot of stacked. And I have a lot of things that make it so that Lop, like if there's a flying type, I have things that can switch into that. Like, if it tanks a Lop attack, if it tanks a fighting move. That was a big concern. That's why I got these 3 at the start, to make sure I have mons that can switch into things that Lop might, like, get resisted by fighting. So that was a big part. And so I was just chilling. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get the best mon I see. I'm not gonna think too much. I'm gonna get the best mon I see here for 400 points, tier 7 or below. So this is some of the mons I was thinking of at that time. I ended up going Explode, right? Because I was like, oh, if I can get a double Scrappy Mon and chip down normal resists, that'd be crazy. Because Boom Burst, Stab Boom Burst is the most like spammable move in the game. So good. I was considering Salazzle, but I already had 2 fires and 2 poisons, so I didn't want to double down on that. I was considering Torn because I absolutely hate Prankster Mons, and I wanted to get my own for once. But I already had Moltres and Skarm, and I said I was just not thinking and just picking the strongest Mon. That's not at all what I did. Actually, I'm just lying. I just didn't get Thorn because I already had 2 flying that I was happy with. I was considering Flygon as the ground option, and another Dragon. U-turn, Defog, another Levitate. So legit, if I picked up Flygon, half of my team would have been immune to ground, which I think is funny. I didn't get Flygon in the end. I'm not sure. I don't know. Like, I think I just liked Explode more. There's nothing wrong with this Mon. Same with Zydog. I was probably gonna get Flygon over Zydog because I like the U-turn better. I was considering Xatu because I love this Mon and I love Magic Bounce, but I really don't need hazard problems. Legit, like, I have Defog on Latios, Rotom, Skarm, a Volcanion. So I have four guys. Like, there's a lot of Defog options here. Probably gonna be on Skarm most of the time, right? If I bring it, Skarm or Rotom is probably gonna be my top 2 Defoggers. But I don't know. I didn't think I needed a Xatu, mostly for the same reason as Torn. That flying, I just don't need it. I remember Aerodactyl I was considering, but again, I just didn't, like, just for like more rocks. But I don't know. I just wanted to stab Boom Burst suit people, so I ended up going Explode here. We'll see if he gets any play. I'm not really sure. Maybe, I don't know. So final thoughts on my team, right? A lot of ground immunes, which is very good. I have pretty good hazard removal. And most of these Mons, I tried to make sure that they all can exert some offensive pressure some way. I guess my weakest at doing that is Skarm, but I think Iron Defense Body Press can do that. And Whirlwind is also kind of, if I want to do it like that. I have some good support Mons. Latios can be support. Rotom can be support. Gardevoir. So I make sure I have some of that. My speed tiers, I'm a big fan of my speed tiers because we have Lop at 135, which goes crazy, right? And Latios, there's a bit of a gap between Lop and Latios, but I think that's okay. I only doubled up here at 95, and I believe once more at 70. Yeah, but once Skarm, so it's like kind of like fake. So like from 68 all the way up to like 100. I guess I don't have 100, which is kind of annoying. Like, maybe I should be a little faster for my preference, but I'm overall pretty happy with like my spread. It like goes down steadily, which forces people to run max speed natures on me, even if they're like a 70. Like if they're an 80 Mon and they want to go against me and like try and like do stuff, you're gonna have to be jolly or timid, unless you want to risk being adamant or whatever. But I like the speed tiers. I think it's good to spread out. But my weaknesses on this draft, I don't have a grass type. I have nothing to absorb, sleep, and spore at all. Kind of bad, but like I don't think it's a huge deal. It's not the biggest problem. A bigger problem is on my like momentum options of U-turn is like Lop, Teleport Arcanine, U-turn Moltres, Volt Switch, Rotom, and that's it, right? There's not a lot. There's nothing else really. Does this thing get teleport? It might. No, it doesn't. Okay. So, I guess Gardevoir also gets teleport, but like, nah. So my U-turn is like limited to, like, my ways to get lopped in safely is like slow Rotom, teleport, and Moltres. Because Gardevoir is not living a teleport. It's too frail most of the time. So I would have liked more U-turn Volt Switch options, but it's not great, but it's okay. It's usable. I think I should have probably gone harder on hazards because I was happy I got like Nidoqueen for Stealth Rock and T-Spikes, and I got Skarm for Stealth Rock, T-Spikes, and Stack Attacka, but I only have 3 Mons, so you essentially know I'm bringing one of these 3 at least to every match, pretty much, to get hazards up. Which I don't know. I feel like I should have more. Maybe I'm okay, but I feel like I should probably have more. I don't know. I haven't looked at like what other people have for hazards, but I feel like 3 is not a lot. Maybe I'm crazy though. I have after I looked at this team, I have my only knockoff users are Gardevoir and Haunter, which is probably not good. Knockoff is quite strong, and I'm kind of sad I don't have it. I must Lop might get knockoff. Nope, that would have been crazy. Yeah, not a lot of knockoff here. They don't be knocking. They don't be knocking. So pretty weak to mons that like their items a lot, which is really not good. So that's probably my biggest weakness, to be honest. I don't know. So I think that's probably it. I guess I could have maybe have better dispersion of these points. Because if I only have 3 mons to forward, but so most of my mons are like mid-tier picks. Like I have 3 tier 7s, right? I don't think it's that bad, especially because I consider most of these guys pretty good for their tier. But maybe, like, is my team better off overall if I don't get Stack Attack and Explode and get 2 100s and then go up and get like a Superior or something? Probably, to be honest, yeah. But that's okay. It's not bad. We'll see. Yeah, I'm a big fan of how this draft turned out. I'm gonna try and do, like, I might do a my planning for matches in the future and post commentary on them. I'm not gonna do week 1 because it's so long ago I don't remember and I don't have my sets. But I might do like my next match against Bam. Maybe I'll do a video on the planning for that, because I did some planning in this folder which I will not show, and I'll do a post commentary on that maybe, and we'll see what happens. See if I like doing this. I enjoyed doing this. It was fun to think about. Yeah, so watch out for that, and thanks for making it this far if you did. Anyway, yeah, thanks. Have a good one.